Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to our November 5th board meeting. Join us in the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Here.
Councilman McCarthy.
Here.
Councilwoman Noack.
Here.
Councilwoman Inzerillo. Councilman Lohman.
Yeah. Okay, we'll begin this afternoon with site plan, Mr. Trotter.
Good afternoon, Supervisor, members of the Town Board. I'm Liam Trotta with the Planning Department, and I have one site plan for the Board to consider this afternoon, acting as the Board of Site Plan Review. The applicant is Food Authority, located at 430 Wireless Boulevard in the Hauppauge Industrial Park. The proposal is for the legalization of a 2,389 square foot Bill Pryor second floor mezzanine addition for office use and proposed site modifications. This is the proposed site plan. They'll be legalizing a mezzanine in the front portion of the building, reconstructing the parking lot, and having additional land bank parking. And they'll revegetate the area behind the building. The proposed floor plans, again, just under 3,000 square foot Bill Pryor mezzanine that they'll be legalizing. The applicant has agreed to 3 conditions of site plan approval. The first condition is that they obtain permits from the building department. The second condition is that they obtain a road opening permit from the town highway department. And the third condition is that they obtain a certificate of occupancy by June 1st, 2025. Does the board have any questions on this proposal?
I don't think so. Question by the board?
No, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Trotter, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The site plan will be voted on at the conclusion of the agenda today. We'll convene as Board of Water Commissioners.
We have the minutes of October 17th, and there's 2 resolutions. The first is the receiver of taxes to include a levy on the 2024-25 tax bill for unpaid water charges against various property owners in Smithtown and St. James Water District. And the second is in accordance with the increase by the Suffolk County Water Authority of the rate what it charges to the Smithtown Water District and the St. James Water District. Effective January 1st, 2025, the water rates will be increased to $2.92 per 1,000 gallons from the existing $2.82 with a $20 quarterly water quality treatment charge.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzerillo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. We will reconvene as Town Board and start the agenda.
Under correspondence, there's a letter of withdrawal regarding the Second Amendment of Zone Change Petition 2023-02. The applicant is Beechwood Smithtown LLC. There's 2 public hearings today. The first is to consider amending Chapter 322 of the Town Code entitled Zoning as it relates to planned residential development districts. And Allison Murray from our Planning Department is here to make the presentation.
Good afternoon, Supervisor, members of the Town Board. I'm here on behalf of the Planning Director to present a proposed amendment to Chapter 322 of the Town Code as it relates to planned residential development zoning districts. This district was incorporated into the zoning ordinance back in 1969 with amendments through 1974. It allows for a variety of housing types within a development. Fairfield at St. James is presently the only such development that we have in the town. The code currently includes a requirement that limits residents to those 48 years of age or older. And the planning director, in consultation with the town attorney, recommends that this age requirement be eliminated in order to comply with the Federal Fair Housing Act. Planning also recommends increasing the minimum lot area for a planned residential development district from 5 acres to 30 acres. This is more appropriate for such a type of development, and it limits the potential number of locations where such a development could be proposed. The proposed amendment, as drafted, would not affect Fairfield at St. James, but would apply only to any future planned residential development districts. Thank you. Anyone has any questions?
Questions by the board?
No, thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to be heard on this public hearing?
Pat Bianconello?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? This works? Okay. So I have questions. This came up out of the blue, and I have questions about all the relevant issues: who, what, where, when, why, how. We came to the conclusion that we're going to increase the acreage by more than 6 times the amount we currently have, and remove all of the criteria that we had for a planned residential district. So I will start with, why are we doing this?
Okay. Do you want these answers right now, or do you prefer to wait until after the meeting and meet with the planning staff, because they're gonna explain this to you?
So I would prefer to have it on tape so that everyone could know what the answers are. If you prefer, I will wait and meet with the
I
planning.
think the
department.
answers, if you have multiple questions, I think that Ms. Bianconello, the answers are gonna be more cogent to you after the meeting, talk to the planning folks. And then if you have any other issues, you can bring it forth.
Okay, so this will not be voted on for the next month?
This won't be voted on today.
Right.
Correct.
But you're not scheduling a vote on this or anything in the
There's
near
nothing
future?
scheduled that I'm aware of yet.
Okay.
Just the public hearing. That's
Okay.
why I say it might be prudent to get your answers here and then put your input, they'll get back to us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nobody else wants to speak on this public hearing? There being none, I'll move to close.
Second.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
The second public hearing is to consider proposed local law 15-24, amendments to Chapter 112 of the Code entitled Building Construction in regards to residential solar energy. And Simone Freeman, Assistant Town Attorney, is here to explain the amendments.
Good afternoon, Supervisor, members of the board. The purpose of this public hearing is for the board to consider the adoption of an amendment to Chapter 112 of the Town Code entitled Building Construction in order to repeal the existing residential solar energy fast-track application process for residential rooftop, solar electric, and solar hot water energy systems. When the town initially began accepting applications for residential rooftop solar electric and solar hot water energy systems, as developed by the Long Island Power Authority Initiative, the town elected to use that solar energy system fast-track permit application as an alternative to the existing building permit application process because of the new technology that was involved and the technical review required. However, since that time, the building department has become familiar with the technology and requirements and has streamlined its review of these applications so that they may be timely processed as an application for a building permit. Accordingly, the building department recommends that this section of the code be repealed. Unless there are any questions from the board, this concludes our presentation.
Questions by the board?
Nothing.
Anyone in the audience wish to be heard on this public hearing? There being none, I move to close.
Second.
Thank you very much, council.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack? Yes. Councilman McCarthy? Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
On advertised for public hearing, authorize the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to be held at Town Hall on Tuesday, December 3rd at 2 p.m. to consider zone change petition 2024-03 submitted by Spark Car Wash. And the second is to authorize the town clerk and the Planning and Community Development Department to advertise for a public hearing to be held on November 14th at 2 p.m. to consider the Community Development Program Year 2025.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack? Yes. Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
On the consent agenda for the controller, there's number 1 to 19, resolutions 1 to 5, and the minutes of 10:17.
Anyone on the board wish to remove any resolutions from the consent agenda?
Yeah, at this time, I request that we table number 9 in conversations with the superintendent of highway. We have some questions that we want resolved, so we're requesting that get tabled.
Okay, I'll second.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Okay, under resolutions, The town board to issue a CEQA negative declaration determination in the matter of the application for site plan approval by Robert Fitzsimmons for Food Authority at 430 Wireless Boulevard, and the town board's own motion to adopt the 2025 proposed capital program for the reasons stated in a memorandum from the Environmental Protection Director.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Azarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
The town board to adopt the 2025 preliminary budget and to adopt the 2025 capital budget with proposed funding sources.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Azarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
The town board to authorize the issuance of 12 bonds, all described on the agenda.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Azarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Authorize the town clerk to advertise for the following bids. Bid 2480, bulk delivery of Portland cement powder. 81, annual supply contract for lumber, plywood, and building materials. 83, for plow blades and cutting edges. 86, annual contract for office cleaning. 78, sale of surplus metals. And there's one bid, 2482, that's on the next category, but it belongs in authorization to advertise, and it's for asphalt picked up and delivery.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Azarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
The town board to award the following bids and authorize the purchase of associated goods and service. 2471 for urban forestry management services to Long Island Tree and Landscape Services and the Roxy Group, and improvements to the 2024 transit van to Sub-Zero Insulation and Refrigeration Technologies.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Azarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Award request for proposal 2466 for monitoring and maintenance of landfill flare system at MSF to Warren LFG Services.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Azarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
The town board to approve the following. The first four are extensions of bids. The first is 2284, annual supply bid for janitorial supplies with Amity Vacuum and APCO Paper and Plastics. 2369, hazardous household waste disposable program with Radiac Environmental Services. 2285, annual supply bid for road and landscape supplies with B&B Maintenance Services. And 2437, plow blades and cutting edges with Chamong Supply Corp. DeJano Truck and Utility Equipment and Valk Manufacturing. The rejection of all bids received on October 3rd in connection with bid 2468, concrete curbs, sidewalks, and aprons. A change order to the St. James Water Main Project with Adjo Contracting for $17,500. The adoption of the anti-sexual harassment policy and the anti-harassment policy. Approve the waiver of the environmental quality review fee for the submission of a site plan exemption application by the St. James Fire Department. An agreement with New York State regarding municipal waste reduction and recycling project grants for municipal service facility equipment. The Highway Road Program Amendment to add Sherrill Crescent and the Spout in Smithtown. Authorize the Department of Environment and Waterways to obtain plans and all requisite permit application materials in order to obtain a New York State DEC permit for repair and restoration work to be done at the Kings Park Bluff. And the last is the ratification of the supervisor's execution of an agreement with CSEA Full-Time Union Local 852 to revise and reissue an employee policy manual assigned to the assessor's office.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Azarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Accept the donation from St. Philip's and James for $50 to the animal shelter.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Azarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Authorize the supervisor to execute the following resolutions on a form approved by the town attorney. An agreement with Macaron Plumbing to perform various projects under the terms and conditions of the Suffolk County Department of Public Works contract. An amendment to an agreement with RTP Environmental Associates regarding reporting air emissions to the New York State Department of Environment and Conservation. An agreement with Kristen Carmen, nurse practitioner, to provide services to the town as the nurse practitioner on staff for Horizons Counseling and Education Center. And an agreement with the Setauket Fire District to utilize the Edward Mankuski Fire Training Center.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
yes,
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
The town board to approve settlement per the recommendation of the town attorney with Kathleen Killeen for $2,300.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
yes,
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
And personnel items 1 to 25 as described on the agenda.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
yes,
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes, we have 3 read-only resolutions.
There's an agreement with Haddock Engineering to provide professional engineering services related to proposed traffic flow, parking capacity, and drainage improvements to the Central Business District parking lot in downtown Smithtown. An agreement with Austin Drywall Corp. To provide exterior renovations for the Smithtown Welcome Center building located at 490 West Jericho Turnpike. And an agreement with Rapid Armored Corporation to provide pickup and delivery to official depositories to the tax receiver's office for a 1-year term.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
yes,
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes, Mr. Clerk, we voted on tabling number 9 on the consent agenda. We need to call the roll on the remainder of the consent agenda.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello,
Yes.
Councilman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. That concludes resolutions. We will now move to vote on site plan.
On the site plan, there's the minutes from August 13th, and to conditionally approve the site plan for Food Authority at 430 Wireless Boulevard. It's described by Liam Trotter at the beginning of the meeting.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. That concludes the agenda. Deputy Clerk, do we have speakers?
There's one speaker, Ron Rothman.
Before we start, public participation is subject to the rules of decorum, which you have on your speaker card, as per Town Code Section 76.7. Public portion is for town-related matters only. Any unsubstantiated, unverified, or false information will be interrupted. The 3-minute rule will be strictly enforced. When you hear the tone, you have 1 minute to complete your statement. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me here and getting me on the agenda. My name is Ron Rothman. I'm with the Smithtown Rotary. I'm the incoming president of the group. I'm here to add to request that we have a garden, a circle over on Lawrence and Jericho. You've probably seen it. We appreciate the fact that they're building the new Starbucks. It's going to be great. We have our benches there. I wanted just to confirm, I actually read in the paper that the planter will be staying through the construction, but I also wanted to confirm that the benches will too. I think they're part of the same setup there. The other thing I was hopeful to get from you today, if I could, is the approval to add a peace pole. I think some of you were in the other Rotary Club. You know what a peace pole looks like. It's about 3 or 4 feet. It talks about peace in 7 languages. We'd like to install that in the center of the garden. It will not impact traffic in any way. You won't even be able to see it unless you walk up to it. So it doesn't affect it. I have pictures of the garden from different views, if that's helpful. Whatever you would need, we would appreciate the approval to put in the pole.
Okay, very good. I would ask you to just make that request in writing to us in an email. Okay, you can send it to my office. I'll give you my email address at the conclusion. And I believe we're going to be having a discussion with the applicant that's building the Starbucks. My understanding is that will all remain there. We may move things around to make it more aesthetically pleasing, but the rotary wheel and stuff will be staying there.
And do you suppose the benches will too, or?
No, we'll have benches there.
Oh, I see. You may
They
change
may
the
not,
configuration.
we may, depending on what happens, because we believe that, especially in the warm weather months, that whole corner will be beneficial to the theater goers. But we'll be more than happy to work with the Rotary on the design of what we want to do there.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Julie Strauss.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I think you've seen me. I don't know if you remember me. Maybe you remember my accent, but I was here a few months ago and I met this gentleman also regarding my neighbor fire. I know it's not a big deal maybe to some of you or us, but it became a big deal. On October 27, I got a terrible asthma attack because of my neighbor. This fire, I can't take pictures of smoke, but what I did, I have a video in my garage where I park my car. And the smoke and the smell was so bad that I got asthma. Now, it got to a point that I can't take it anymore, and I'm really, really trying to be kind as much as I don't need to try. I am a kind person. But it got to a point that I hear it from many other people, not in my neighborhood, about other people. For instance, friends in Huntington, they have same problem with neighbors, and they don't sit outside for 20 years. I think this is something that has to stop, really, because if we cannot sit in my backyard, and I invite you to come to my backyard because it's gorgeous. My husband is an arborist. It's like a botanical garden. We cannot have grandchildren, friends, and I said it before. So I went, and this gentleman tried to help me. And I understand everything is under code. But if I'll die, there's no code. I can't, right now I'm in good condition because I'm taking my medication, but it affects me. And I don't like war, I love peace, and I love coffee. And I want everybody to get together, but this is something that has to stop. This guy, and I'm not talking about the noise, it become, and nobody in my neighborhood, nobody wants to get involved, and I'm not asking anybody, I'm the only complainer. At 6:30 in the morning, it's the Corvette goes to work, run, all Harry Klein is on the feet. My neighbor on the other side, on Bluegrass, just came to me to visit me. She said, what's going on with this music? I hear it near my house. My husband just had surgery. We can't go to bedroom because the dogs are barking, and I have also recording of that. You will not believe me. The guy just does not have any consideration around him, and I don't want police. I don't want fire department. I don't want the marshal. I tried everything I could. I don't want that. I just want peace and consideration. And I'm asking somebody if can step up and help me to avoid it, because now it's my health. I went to the health department. I went a few times to public safety. I spoke to this gentleman who tried to help me. I spoke to so many people. And everybody said, oh, it's not me, it's him, it's him, it's him, it's him. The fire department said, you know, that's all we do all day. The fire marshal said, that's all we do, so why we do it? If there's no resolution, why we do it? Wasting time of people who have family, let them be home, enjoy the family. I'm talking about marshals and all that people. So please, I'm asking somebody to help me. Right now I talk without coughing, but I coughed a little bit there. I brought my mask that people don't get in panic. Thank
Your
you.
time's up, thank you. We have the address, all right, we'll work with Public Safety Department and we will revisit this situation and be back in touch with you.
Thank you.
Can I
Okay.
just ask one question?
Yes.
What kind of fire? What are you talking about, this
Well,
fire and
it has a
smoke?
very cute, I have to say, I saw it. It's a very cute fireplace, but it's just fireplace at home with a chimney. But the height of the chimney is my height. So I cannot sit or stand in my house. And we don't open windows. So we can't even have fresh air. And the loudness, the music, the barking dogs, the Corvette, everything is loud. Okay, just calm down. I'm for music and I'm for life. And barking too, but to a certain point. Thank you.
We will we'll look into the situation. I know there's
Thank
some
you.
there's some complications with the code, but we'll look into it.
Thank
And we'll
you.
recontact you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, that's all we have for speakers. I will move to close.
Supervisor Leon?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarello?
Yes.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes. Okay, thank you, everybody, for attending. Be safe.